So my name is Omar Rampersad. It's 3:59 p.m., March 16th, 2020. So today's update, live update, about the signals around my body and the symptoms I'm experiencing in relation to these signals. So I left it last night, so the last time I did a live stream with pain and around the nose, and still swollen. The jaw is still swollen a little bit, but the nose is better because I shielded last night. I also used ice on my face, so the swelling went down. I know it's counterintuitive to use cold when it's inflamed, and you feel like you're getting a cold. Only in my case, it wasn't a cold. It was inflammation caused by heat and trauma, like blunt force trauma. Because when the body is pulsed, that spot is being traumatized. And it's like somebody hitting you in the same spot over and over and over again. You can actually feel the pressure. It's like a mini bullet hitting your skin, a plastic bullet hitting your skin. And in this case, it's accompanied with heat. So there is a burning sensation that penetrates the surface of the skin because it's millimeter wave technology. And it creates the burning sensation. And if you do a little bit more research, it actually penetrates deeper than some sites would claim. So it was the equivalent of being slapped and pounded on the face. So anyway, feeling a little bit better today. Took a lot of, not a lot, but the recommended dose of this stuff. And it seemed to be working very effectively. But when I noticed that when I take something that makes me feel better, the next day the power is turned up, or I get bombarded more frequently, continuously. So I end up getting sick, and then I have to turn to another remedy. I take vitamin D, which is recommended by my doctor because it's good for a lot of things, because there is no sun. And there's a lot of other good benefits to taking it. Took aspirin, of course, low dosage aspirin, not a lot, so that it helped with the inflammation, also with the pain. And that was it, basically. Tea, green tea. Don't have a lot of regular tea, maybe 1 cup, 1 tea bag a day. Tea is also high in antioxidants. So the radiation, even though they're claiming it's not harmful, it can cause cancer. So high antioxidants intake is recommended, especially with 5G. Curry, had curry last night. And it seemed to have worked. When I left the last time and I was doing the live stream, I was nauseous, my head was pounding. And I think I showed you the pounding I got on the head. Blunt force trauma. it was swollen. My head is swollen. I'm not quite sure. It's still sore. The aspirin I took last night, I didn't take any today. Kind of numb the pain, but it's the touch. It's still a little bit swollen and it's still sore where I had the detector. There's a little bit of a swelling, a little bit of a bump. That's how hard I was hit. I almost passed out, although I didn't show it. I guess my age shows in the way I control my reactions. I guess there's a silver lining to getting old. You tend to have more control over the way you handle crisis situations, pain. So even though I didn't show it, I was in a lot of pain. So that was it. Yeah. So I just wanted to show the viewers out there that I'm not really badly off health-wise after that bombardment. My heart issue, well, we'll take some measurements and see how it is. It wasn't too bad today. There was fluctuations, but there was no fluttering. There was no arrhythmia. So that, when I was pulsed quite a bit, but then it stopped. So when it doesn't go on and on and on, your body regulates back to normal. So here is the readings. That's the hand, the palm of the hand being tagged. You notice the RF reading is still high compared to normal, which is 0 to 1. So I'm still in pain. There's high RF, not the RF, the EF reading there. So that huge reading pulse there. There. The hand is hurting right now, and that's on and off. So that's the left hand, and there's a huge number again. So the left hand is hurting. So the right hand is tagged, but not with extremely high power. The left one seemed to be tagged on a higher level. So the left hand is more painful. So this one is not being, oh, there we go. On and off. So it is being pulsed, but not as bad as yesterday. So if you look at yesterday's video, you'll see the difference. The eyes. So the neck is tagged today and it's hurting. So let's take the temperature. 36.9. So that's pretty hot. 36.8. 36.7. 36.6. So I have a sore neck and back. 36.5. 36.5. 36.5. 36.4. 36.4. 36.4. So the next side. So you see this here, this is swollen. They just saw it here, this is swollen. $36.4. 36.4. 36.4. 36.4. 36.4. So I don't have a temperature. 36.4. The air. Oh, 37.1. 36.9. 36.7. That means that the air was just pulsed. 36.6. I don't have a temperature. 36.5. Rapid increase and decrease. 37.1. Up again. 37. So yeah, it's tagged. 36.4. So could you imagine going to the doctor and the doctor takes your temperature in your air or underneath your tongue and you're just pulsed and your temperature goes up to 38 plus. 37.8 is at a fever. So the normal is about 36.8. For me, my normal temperature is about 36.4. But there's a range. Different people, normal range are different. But 37.8 in this thermometer is a fever. So say, for instance, you go to a testing site and you don't have to be a target. Say somebody pulsed you. And immediately your temperature goes up, you'll be diagnosed with a fever. The temperature is only taken once by a doctor, by a nurse. There's no average of 3. And with a crisis in our hands, there's not going to be a time. There's not going to be time to do an average of 3 if there is a lineup of people. So you see, when I tweet about exacerbating the symptoms of the coronavirus, and I'm not saying that there isn't a coronavirus, don't misunderstand me. it doesn't necessarily mean that some criminals like PK in this building who are pulsing me and his team who are pulsing me is not doing it to other people as well. You know, you have somebody who royally pissed you off, or businessman who wants to get rid of competitions, or gang members. You heard that alarm? That alarm was in sync with a knock, and I'm not sure if the microphone picked it up, but there was a knock directly above my head. And it happens all the time at night as well. The person above me seemed to have the same waking schedule at night. So, you know, gangs, as I was saying, gangs against gangs, and they can use these technologies to kill off people. It's very easy. Especially since it's well known, because based 36.2, so I definitely do not have a temperature. .3. So, and it's not tagged right now. See how low the reading is? And immediately the temperature goes down. So, as I was saying, if they're doing it to me, PK and his teams and people, some residents, not all residents, some residents in the building who choose to take part in this terrorization campaign to get me out, basically. You know, everybody knows. They come and they get together in meetings and determine the level of power that I'm pulsed with, how sick I'm going to become, whether they want to get me deaf, whether they want to get me blind, whether I'm going to get a bladder infection, whether I'm going to get a heart attack. If it's being done to me openly, because it's being talked about outside the window, which I recorded, that, and everybody knows because it's global, then of course it's being done to other people. This is my point. There's experimentation being carried out by PK and the people he claims he's working with in the government. So if PK is the criminal, and he is, then the people he's working with in the government they're also criminals. That's my point. That doesn't necessarily make the entire government a criminal organization, far from it. I'm not anti-government by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. Actually, I believe in strong government, not oversized government, but effective, strong government, not overpowering government, a government that complements the population's ability. And to some extent, give leadership. I mean, there's a lot of leadership in the private sector, but the government that you vote in is supposed to complement it. You're supposed to work together. It's supposed to be a partnership between the government and the private sector. Anyway, so let me take the blood pressure readings, and this RF reading is still quite high. Yeah. So I've been knocked off the internet almost all day, and I'm on after 4, I noticed. I heard the comment outside the window, you're not allowed to trade. Because I do trade. Not a lot, but I do. So somebody made the decision. And of course, my internet is hacked because the informant, the manager needs to know everything about me. And in order to do that, my Wi-Fi is hot. So I'm just going to give you an example of these numbers here. See how high that number is? Let's take the hand away. And here's a live wire. It's the live wire. Now I'll take the wire away and put my hand on. So my hand is tagged at a higher power than the electrical currents that the detector is picking up off the coated wire, the plastic off the because the wire is protected with the plastic. It's not obviously picking up the actual current that's running through the metal. It's picking it up off the protective layer of the plastic, which is lower. So my hand is showing a higher reading than that number. Of course, if you took the plastic off this wire, then you'd get a much higher reading. So that's the electrical reading. So the RF reading, it went down. So I'm going to take my blood pressure. So what I described about blunt force trauma, it's time for a haircut. It demonstrates, and I just got a pulse on the chest, which is the reason I burped. It demonstrates that the person who's doing it is a violent person, obviously, a rapist, a misogynist, who loves to beat up on women. He's not only a violent person, he's a violent person who likes to beat up on women. He enjoys the torture. And that's a special kind of person. He's not a regular criminal off the street. He's a trained criminal, someone who's trained to torture and enjoy it. That's sadistic. And the sexual aspect of this, when this technology is being used to pulse the genitals, then it becomes a sadomasochistic practice. So this is a special kind of criminal. It's not your everyday run-of-the-mill criminal. This person is trained to rape, trained to torture, and enjoy it. He gets off on the pain. He gets off on giving the person pain and observing the person in pain. And like I said, I'm in pain. 124/91, 69 heart rate. So although the RF reading was low, the electrical reading was high. And it was high all day and all night and all of yesterday, so consistently high, which means that quite a few people are logged in. So if the account is global and it was distributed by the cops or whoever it is that does this, then several people are logged in. And if anybody can go and sign you out, then any amount of people can go and sign you out, and any amount of people can log on. So there's a comment outside the window that I heard, a new one every day, meaning every day or every morning, a new person is going to rape you remotely. Now compare this experiment to what is going on right now globally. Is it possible that what's going on is an experiment? That's all I'm asking. I mean, given that PK and the Chinese contingent out here are running experiments on me, a Canadian, and other people who are talking about it, who also talked about being experimented with on by Chinese perpetrators, is it possible that what is going on in the world today that started in China is also a Chinese experiment? And I'm going to be really blunt about this because I want people to think about it. If one experiment could be run, then others could be run. It opens up the possibility that there are other experiments out there. 125/84. So my blood pressure is all over the place, and my chest actually is cramping. And I uploaded a video, and right after that, I got knocked off the internet, showing the high RF reading around my obliques and around my chest. Well, this would probably explain that. I didn't show you the readings around my chest area, the obliques. So, so we have 124/91, heart rate of 69, and then a 125/84, heart rate of 71. So there is a bit, a bit of fluctuation. Let me take my temperature under my arm. (37.4). 37.8 is a fever, but I'll show you that I do not have a fever. 37.3, what should go down just like it did in my face. 37.1. 36.9. 36.8. 36.7. So my obliques is being hit, which shows in 36.6, which shows in the blood pressure reading. 36.4. Absolutely no fever. But my shoulder is being tagged, my chest, and that'd be why my blood pressure is moving up and down. So I'm going to take my blood pressure one more time. I've got an error there. It's moving my hand. It's the sensor on this is quite sensitive. If it detects movement, it errors out. So it's a good monitor. It's a good blood pressure monitor. And I've been getting, I just got pulsed in the back, the right side right here. Oh. No movement. So 119 over 76. 69 heart rate. Again, I've been sitting here for more than an hour, so there was no activity before I started. And it's going on 31 minutes. So I've been sitting here for at least on camera for that long. So yeah, so let me just show you there. So 124 over 91, 125 over 84, and 119 over 76. So it went down. And the heart rate is steady, 69, 71, 69. Can you see that? I hope you can see that. The lighting is really bad. Okay. So the RF reading, still quite high. The neck. See, it went up there to 5. It also seemed to be motion activated. So if my hand moves, it gets pulsed. So then you see the reading increase as my hand moves. So the more movement there is, the higher the reading. Again, there's a push to get me removed. Well, given that the Chinese have the contract to run these experiments, everywhere I am is going to be infiltrated. Everywhere I am is going to be poisoned. Everywhere I am, I'm going to be framed and set up to be charged. There are comments outside the window that's said by infiltrated people. We have to get her back in. This time a real charge, and this time no bail. And she's not coming back here. We have to give her a real criminal record. So the last time it was done, it did not stick because, of course, it was a setup. And there was no evidence, so it had to be dismissed. So now I'm hearing the comment, there's some real good evidence. Well, good evidence, quote unquote, being held by whoever, would be the police, I'm imagining, or somebody who will submit it to the police, does not necessarily mean that the charge should be laid. If the police is aware that there is a conspiracy involved in getting a charge through, because there's a flag next to my name, and people like PK, who's openly trying to set me up and frame me, and openly telling me that he has people looking at me remotely, and he could see me inside my home. The cops are well aware of that. So where is the evidence coming from, number one? And number two, if you have quote unquote evidence, with also you have the knowledge that that evidence is coming from people like PK, then the question should be asked, what is the validity of the evidence? And should the charge be put through? Because if the charge is put through with the knowledge that that evidence could be coming from people who are intentionally framing and setting up and conspiring to manufacture evidence that show that paints somebody in a certain way, intentionally conspiring, if the police is aware of that, of the conspiracy, then should the charge be put through? And if it is, what is the agenda behind it? What is the real reason the charge was put through? Because I'll tell you right now, unless it's fixed by the judge in the trial, no charge against me is going to stand up in court. Because I have so much evidence that shows that there is a conspiracy to get me charged and to artificially criminalize me, that no charge is going to stand up in court. And there is absolutely no criminal intent in anything I do. I was flagged by traffickers to be trafficked. When I started talking about it, talking about the things I was observing, the traffickers tried to stop me from doing that. Some of the traffickers is in the Toronto Police Force. It's that clear and it's that simple. So the people in the cops in the Toronto Police Force, the dirty ones, who are working with the traffickers, are helping them to create a file and to put a case together to charge me, conspiring and colluding to charge me. And everybody knows, because a target is opened up. Everybody knows. It's fixed, which means that the judge knows, and the judge has taken part in the conspiracy. So I'm going to stop there. And so I demonstrated, just to summarize briefly, the temperature around the neck, the temperature in the ear, up and down. I do not have a temperature underneath the arm. 37.4 to 36.2. So that's a 0.8 degree increase. That's the range of fluctuation that I captured today. I've seen it up to 5 degrees. And that's how much pain I'm in sometimes. And when somebody's putting you in that kind of pain and you verbalize about it, and then they record it and take it to the court and say you're mentally ill. I mean, why would somebody verbalize about something when well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Let me self-edit there and not say that. Okay, so let me just close this off here. So we'll talk to you another time.